This is part 2 of the Mahabharata series, and I would recommend you to watch the previous video by clicking the link in description for better understanding. I would appreciate you to subscribe to our channel and please comment about what my next video should be. Without any delay, let's dive into the video.
Chapter 5 Dharma, the subtle law of the universe. Dharma is one of the most misunderstood words in human history. People think dharma means religion. Some think it means law. But in truth, dharma means the natural order of existence, the harmony that holds the universe together. The Mahabharata shows us that dharma is not rigid. It is not written in stone. It shifts with time, circumstance, and intention, because truth is alive, not static. Bhishma followed dharma through duty, Yudhishthira through honesty, Karna through loyalty, Draupadi through courage, and Krishna through wisdom. Yet all of them suffered, because even the purest intentions must face the complexity of life. The Mahabharata teaches us there is no single definition of right or wrong. There is only awareness. To walk the path of dharma is to stay awake, even when the world around you sleeps in ignorance. Dharma asks you not to be perfect, but to be conscious. It demands courage, the courage to choose the truth even when it breaks your heart. When Arjuna chose to fight, it was not for victory, it was for dharma. When you act with awareness, without attachment, you live your dharma. And when you live your dharma, you align yourself with the rhythm of the universe. That is the highest harmony. That is the spiritual heartbeat of the Mahabharata. Chapter 6 Karma, the chain and the key. If dharma is the law, karma is its echo. Every action, every word, every thought creates a vibration, a ripple that travels through time and returns to its source. This is karma. The Mahabharata is filled with the play of karma. Shantanu's desire births a dynasty of sorrow. Amba's pain leads to Bhishma's death. Kunti's one secret shapes the fate of nations. Duryodhana's envy becomes his destruction. Nothing in the Mahabharata happens by chance. Every thread is woven by karma's invisible hand. But karma is not punishment. It is teaching. It is the soul's way of remembering what it has forgotten. Krishna tells Arjuna, "You have the right to your action, but never to its fruits." When you understand this, karma ceases to bind you. You still act, but you do not cling. You still love, but you do not possess. You still serve, but you do not seek reward. Then karma transforms from a chain into a key that opens the door to liberation. Reading the Mahabharata teaches you to see karma not as fate, but as flow, not as control, but as connection. The past, present, and future are not separate. They are one movement of consciousness. And when you act with awareness, you begin to write new karma, karma that frees, not binds. Chapter 7 The Ego and the Illusion of Power. The Mahabharata is a graveyard of egos. Kings, warriors, sages all fall when pride blinds them. Duryodhana believed power could conquer truth. Karna believed loyalty was greater than justice. Bhishma believed his vow mattered more than compassion. All of them were noble, yet their nobility was tainted by ego. The ego is not evil. It is simply a shadow that forgets its source. It says, I am the doer. It separates the self from the whole. The Mahabharata shows us that the higher you rise in power, the deeper you must bow in humility. Because pride is the weight that pulls even the mightiest down. Every time Duryodhan walks into the court, you can feel the walls tremble, not from his strength, but from his arrogance. Every time Krishna smiles, the same walls glow, not from power, but from peace. True strength is not domination, it is detachment. True victory is not over others, it is over self. To read the Mahabharata is to see your own ego in its characters, to realize that power without wisdom destroys, and humility without fear liberates. The ego says, I am everything. The soul whispers, I am nothing, and therefore I am all. Chapter 8. The Silence of Bhishma. Few scenes in world literature are so haunting as Bhishma lying on his bed of arrows. The sun waits for his permission to set. The wind slows down to listen. And 1,000 warriors stand in silence before the fallen guardian of Dharma. Bhishma's silence is not defeat, it is wisdom ripened by pain. He had lived by vows, by duty, by law, but in the end he realizes that the law without compassion is incomplete. He teaches us that silence is not emptiness, it is reflection. It is the soul's way of hearing its own heartbeat after a lifetime of noise. Bhishma's final words to Yudhishthira are among the most profound teachings in the Mahabharata, that forgiveness is greater than vengeance, truth is deeper than justice, and love is higher than law. When you read Bhishma's story, you begin to understand that spirituality is not about escaping pain, it is about understanding it so deeply that it transforms into wisdom. The arrows that pierce Bhishma's body are symbols. They represent the consequences of our choices. Each arrow is a lesson, and the bed of pain becomes a throne of realization. In his silence, Bhishma becomes eternal. He does not speak of victory or defeat, but of truth. Truth that does not die when the body falls.
Chapter 9. Draupadi, the fire that does not burn. Among all the souls in the Mahabharata, few burn brighter than Draupadi. Born from fire, she is not merely a woman, she is the flame of divine justice, the voice of the silenced. Draupadi stands for every soul that has been humiliated by ignorance, yet refuses to bow before darkness. When she is dragged into the court, stripped of dignity, surrounded by silence, she does not break. Her voice trembles, but her faith does not. Her anger becomes prayer, and her pain becomes purpose. That moment, when Krishna manifests through her faith, is one of the most profound spiritual revelations in the Mahabharata. It tells us, the divine appears when your surrender is pure and your heart refuses to accept injustice as destiny. Draupadi's story teaches that spirituality is not passive. It is not withdrawal from the world. It is the courage to face it with awareness. She is both fire and forgiveness, strength and softness. She does not seek revenge, she seeks balance. For every seeker, Draupadi is a reminder. The world may try to strip away your worth, but your inner flame, the truth of who you are, cannot be touched. The Mahabharata asks us to awaken that fire, to rise not in hatred, but in the calm power of truth. That is the fire that does not burn, the light that illumines every seeker's path. Chapter 10. The End of the War, the Cost of Victory. When the dust of Kurukshetra settles, when the conch of victory fades into silence, there is no joy, only tears. The Mahabharata does not glorify war. It exposes its futility. It reveals that even a righteous war fought for dharma leaves scars that echo through generations. Yudhishthir wins, yet he cannot celebrate. The throne feels heavier than the crown. The battlefield is littered not with enemies, but with brothers. He looks around and realizes, in war everyone loses, because truth can never be born from blood. Even Krishna, the divine guide, watches in silence, for he knows that this is the destiny humanity chooses when ego blinds the soul. The Mahabharata teaches us that victory is meaningless if compassion dies, that dharma is not upheld through destruction, but through understanding. As seekers, we must see Kurukshetra not as a battlefield outside, but the field within. Your anger, greed, doubt, pride, these are your Kauravas. Your courage, truth and awareness, these are your Pandavas. The war is happening inside you every single day. And the only true victory is inner peace. Chapter 11. Wisdom Beyond Pages. The Mahabharata is not a book. It is a mirror. And when you read it with your heart open, it shows you your own reflection. Each character is a fragment of your consciousness. Arjuna is your confusion. Krishna is your wisdom. Draupadi is your fire. Bhishma is your duty. Karna is your pain. Duryodhana is your ego. To read the Mahabharata is to watch yourself unfold, layer by layer, illusion by illusion. You begin to realize that truth cannot be possessed. It can only be experienced. That life is not about right or wrong. It's about awareness and alignment. The Mahabharata whispers, "You are not the reader. You are the story itself." And when that realization dawns, the war within begins to quiet, and peace, the true victory, begins to rise. Chapter 12. The Path of the Seeker. In the end, Yudhishthir walks alone through mountains, snow, and silence. One by one, his brothers fall, and only a loyal dog follows him, a symbol of faith that never leaves. He reaches the gates of heaven, tired and aged, but before he can enter, he is tested again, for dharma is not a destination, but a continuous awakening. The Mahabharata ends not with triumph, but with transcendence. It reminds us that the soul's journey does not stop at death or victory. It continues, seeking truth beyond all worlds. For the spiritual seeker, the Mahabharata is not just history. It is a map of consciousness. Every page is a step. Every character is a reflection. Every moment is a mirror. And when you finish reading it, you realize you haven't just read the Mahabharata, you have remembered yourself. Because the Mahabharata is the story of the human soul, its desires, its struggles, its fall, and its return to the divine. To read it is to walk the eternal path, the path from ignorance to awareness,
from ego to soul, from war to peace. So, why should you read the Mahabharata? Because it's not just a story of kings, it's your story. A mirror that shows who you are, and a map that guides who you can become. The Mahabharata is not about them, it is about you, your mind, your doubts, your dharma.